All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a hot minute, hasn't it? Hopefully, everyone had a good couple of weeks. I'm hoping I am sounding a little bit better. The last two streams, I've been looking at the replays to see about audio quality, and I kind of finally said, screw it, I'm going to dump the old audio system. It was not only a Technica 2030 with a Yamaha mixer, and I decided to completely replace it. I basically grabbed my setup from my recording computer and dragged it over to the streaming computer to see if it sounds any better. So we'll try this setup, and we'll see how it goes. Sounds fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm particularly nitpicky when it comes to sound, so I'm trying to mess with it. I still tend to peak, I think, with this one, but we'll adjust it, and we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Okay, so a lot of things happen. Again, welcome to the Icey Railway. I am your host, the Ice Dragon, Rayron VR. And last show, about 2 weeks ago, we were talking about kind of the epilogue of the 2023 train show that happened over at Grapevine, Texas. And man, it was fun. It was still looking back on it. It was definitely, I think, the greatest train show I've been to so far. I still got to experience Amherst, and I still got to experience Timonium. So one of these days we'll get those trips in as well. But something that did come out, which I was excited for, and we'll just jump right into it. Good old friend over at Mini Prints actually finally released the painting clinic that I recorded. And it was a great clinic. I highly encourage you guys to go watch this. It really brought me back to the days of Warhammer 40K, all the techniques that he was talking about dry brushing, about finding a base primer that works best for depending on how you want to paint a figure. And so it really brought me back, and it was a great experience. And as Bernard put it best, we captured a moment. It was such a great experience. Learned a lot. Kind of got refreshed on things that I had forgotten about. Like it was a great experience. So there's a link over so you guys can watch that. But yeah, it was so much fun. So much fun. And he also did a live stream about it as well, which I'll go ahead and pop that into the chat as well, so you guys can get another perspective from the experience there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And it's like, how in the world am I going to top off that experience? Well, like I said, we still got Amherst, Timonium, and all these other train shows. So let's go ahead and dive into train shows. So there's actually a lot coming up. I was debating if there's another one kind of in my area that I was debating if I'm going to go to it, but I think now I am. It's about an hour away. So tomorrow's gonna be really busy. I'm probably gonna go to Texas Transportation Museum because they're doing an event there, and then we've got this one. Let's see here. So this is the Temple model train and RPM show. So I was debating if I was gonna go to this one or not, and I think I am gonna go to it tomorrow. So those of you who are in the Texas area and want to come out, I think it's about an hour and a half from the Dallas-Fort Worth, maybe hour and a half from San Antonio. So this is at the Frank Mayborn Civic and Convention Center. I've never been to an RPM show before, but seeing what Bernard and from Mini Prints went to in St. Louis, it got me kind of interested in it. And so I kind of want to go just take a lot of pictures, take a lot of footage. I'm not expecting to get much. My budget's really, really tight. So the whole purpose of going to this training show is just recording the RPM element to it to see what these modelers are building, painting, scratch building, and so forth, and kind of capture that on the channel. So I think that's kind of my main purpose on going. So I'll probably get there around 11 or 12. I think there's some other people going to this. So yeah, it gives me an opportunity to network. It gives me an opportunity to hand out more holographic stickers. And so that's where I will be at tomorrow. And then as far as some other train shows, we've got the New Braunfels train show coming up in October. And then obviously in January is Amherst. Amherst is on the table right now, but I'm not confirming that we're going. It's still a financial hurdle to get over there. And it's going to take a lot more planning, especially with the pets. So we're in the planning stages. Not sure if financially we can go. But it's on the books for now to see if we can make it to Amherst. Because it is a bucket list item. I know there's a ton of you guys in our family, in the community, that go to Amherst. So we're trying to see if we can make that work. So that's kind of, it's 50-50 right now if we're going to go to Amherst. And then after that in February is the SAMRA train show in February, San Antonio Railroad Association. And I think a few months after that we got the first New Braunfels train show. And then that's really it that I know. I'm not going to have I'm hoping that Amherst will be the big train show for us next year. If not, we'll try to go to the second Timonium train show at the very end of the year. And then in 2025, we'll try to go to Amherst that year. So we'll see. I'm trying to get at least one trip to the East Coast next year. Whether it's Amherst at the beginning of the year or Timonium at the end of the year. So we'll see. We shall see. All right. So a few things as far as the channel is concerned. So how are we going to top the NMRA train show? I can't. But I do have a mega project that I'm working on. It'll be kind of revealed in a few months. I'm recording like mad for this next mega project that I'm working on. But I think you guys will enjoy it. It's more tailored towards newcomers of the hobby or those trying to figure out what the hobby is all about. But it's been something I've been wanting to talk about for a while. And so you guys will see kind of the fruits of the labor in a few months. I've got a big thing planned for this channel. And you guys will see it kind of revealed in a few months. Some other things I've been working on. So let's go ahead and take a look. So originally I had plans that this was going to be kind of the first operations stream that we'll do on the channel. However, because of the mega project that I thought about, and then just I've been busy in real life, so I haven't been able to really progress with it. Is operations. The thing about it though is that I haven't created the car cards. So I only have this one created, and it was more of a sample. And I put a picture of it on the community tab. But you can kind of see this is how my way bills and car cards is going to be. Basically, I have all the information on a sticker on top, and then I have a picture of the actual card there, and then we have our way bill. So it seems kind of interesting that, I'm kind of a techie person, but I decided to go with the most I don't want to say the most, but a non-techie way of doing operations. And so I decided to do the waybill and car card system is because, at Samurai we have the switch lists that we use, and switch lists are good if you as an entry level in my opinion when it comes to operations, and it keeps things simple for those who want to keep operations simple on a much more bigger complex layout. But the thing that I like about waybills is that I like I'm going to call this role play because I grew up with the D&D community, with Warhammer, with um, all the other RPGs that I played in the tabletop gaming days. And what I like about the waybill system is that it gives me a lot more lore to play with, a lot more role-playing aspects. Like, I know exactly what material is being shipped in this container. And you don't necessarily get that with a split switch. A split switch is typically instantaneous when you go to the JMRI. When you say complete, it's an automatic, okay, the load has been unloaded and it needs to go to the next place, and you miss that load. So, the plumber, how are you, good sir? Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you're doing all right. So, this is a sample of the waybill. So, basically, the person that we're sending the stuff to is Mom's son, YouTuber. Address YouTube USA, which is pretty cool. Routing is to Kirby Interchange. Kirby Interchange is going to be my yard. That's going to be kind of in my closet once that gets built via the internet, which is pretty interesting because we ship things over the internet. Shipper is Daenerys Industries, which if you guys are fans of Game of Thrones. Address Iceyville. And then Ladding is basically 1, which means the first door on my building over here on the factory building, and then Dragon Eggs. So, I am doing well, plumber. I'm doing well. Been busy though. Like I said, working on a mega project for November. We'll put it that way. Give you guys a little hints on when it's going to release. So, mega project for November. So, I've been recording like crazy. But yeah, so here's our waybills. And again, it gives me that roleplay aspect. And what this allows me to do is that I can also simulate when the cargo is being unloaded and loaded. So me as the, I will call, for the sake of terminology, the dungeon master or the game master, because this is going to be a game for me. I get to determine when all these dragon eggs are loaded, unloaded, and then once they're loaded and unloaded, I simply rotate the waybill so that way it goes to its next destination. Can't necessarily do that with a switch list. It's more instantaneous, but again, this gives me the physical feel of when the product is unloaded. So again, it gives me that roleplay capability that I want. So that's why I'm going to do a car waybill. If I were to do a mega layout or a proper home layout, and if I invite people over, I'm going to use a train track system, which I'll talk about in a different video. And you guys have kind of seen it on the NMRA train show a little bit. And I know the co-owner of it too, which is pretty cool. And I'm probably going to get that co-owner on the channel to talk about that product too, because I really want to showcase it. And the best way to showcase it is having a co-owner of the train track. So I'm kind of excited for that. That's something that I've got kind of queued up a little bit. So yeah, I am definitely excited. Yeah, I've got 2 mega projects underway. The first one, I ran into a creative wall, and so I'm kind of shelving it for right now. Hey, Split Rock. We just talked about our car, carts, and waybills. So here's a sample. Oh, this layout is not big enough. This layout is not big enough. This is a solo 1-player campaign. I am the GM, the dungeon master, and the player all in one. Just to experiment. But yeah, we got our first experimental car card. I don't know why I keep saying cart. It's card. Car card and waybill. So hopefully doing well, Split Rock. But yeah, thank you guys so much. The channel has been blowing up. Like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about a couple days after we hit 2,000, and now we're on the verge of 2,200. Still got my D20s. I got a whole case of dice. I got a D100, several D20s, 1,000 D1. Because again, I did Warhammer 40K on top of that. So, and I played with Imperial Guard or now Astra Militarum, and you need a lot of dice. So yeah. That was before I kind of retired from 40K and made model railroading my dominant hobby. So, hey, mom and son, train rail fans. Okay, we've got a good crowd here, so let's do something. Let's play a game. So let's do this. When I type the word start into chat, I want you guys to guess a number between 1 and 15. I've got a wheel here that I'm spinning. It's going to pick a number for me. And then whoever guesses that number correctly, well, we'll see what happens after that. And then I'll type in stop in the chat for when to stop guessing that number, because someone has obviously guessed that number. So, I've got a number here. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, so go ahead and guess a number between 1 and 15 right now. We're going to play a little game. 1 through 15, whoever gets this number correct, I'm going to put stop because that number has been... So keep guessing. Keep guessing. Keep guessing. Keep guessing. Come on, let's play this. Keep going. All right, go ahead and stop. The number has been chosen. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen, and I'll show you guys what that number is. All right, and that number was 9. So the winner is BCF Parts. So congratulations. So you must be wondering, what did you get / win? Because obviously this is going to be our first giveaway. So I've been thinking about this a lot lately. It's like, how am I going to do giveaways on the channel? It's going to be completely random. I'm not going to advertise it. I'm not going to do anything. It's going to be a pop-ups. Because the whole point, in my opinion, when it comes to this channel, is that I want to reward those that come in regularly, sit back, relax, and enjoy. And those are the ones that I want to, you guys take the effort and to watch the videos, to watch the shorts, to watch the streams. And so these giveaways are going to be completely random. It could be in a video. I may do a secret code word that's at some random point in either a short or in a video or here on a live stream that I just kind of done today. And we'll give out giveaways. So what are we giving away? That must be on everyone's mind. So let's go back to good old Mr. Bernard at Mini Prince. So if you guys were watching his live stream from his experience at the NMRA train show, he basically told me, Ray-Ron, since you recorded this awesome video that we were able to capture a moment, you can have anything in the store, it is mine. I don't feel comfortable getting stuff from small businesses, so we kind of made a compromise. I said, instead of me getting something, let's get some gift cards. And I want to give back to you guys because you guys allow me to do this awesome, awesome hobby. And so thanks to Bernard and Mini Prince, we have several gift cards to give out. So BCF Parts, you have won a $20 gift card to Mini Prince. I've got you on, I think, Instagram. So I will message you. And I'll get that code over to you. Or you can just email me as well, or vice versa. We'll get it sorted out. So congratulations, you have won a $20 gift card to Mini Prince. So that is basically how we're going to do giveaways. No, thank you. And again, thank you to everyone who has watched this channel. Again, I have a lot more to give away. And again, that is a thank you from you guys and from great support from Bernard. Again, this channel, I'm not typically going to take sponsorships. You know, it's going to be out of the generosity of others who donate items to me to give away. And the reason why I don't do typically sponsorships is because other people in the community have sponsorships already, and I don't want to take that from them. And so I like the idea of, okay, we're going to do a random giveaway whenever. You just don't know when it's going to happen. And then, boom, there you go. And then we'll go from there. So, again, thank you guys so much, and congratulations, BCI Parts, for being the winner. Again, we'll be in touch, and I'll get you guys that code. So, again, that's just, every channel is different when it comes to this type of stuff, and I feel, me personally, that I can give back to you better this way. Again, everyone does it differently. But, again, thank you to Bernard from Mini Prints for supporting the channel. And it was such a great time. So, awesome. All right, shall we go to the main event? Shall we go to the main event? Again, I thank Bernard because originally, you know, I recorded that video for the clinic, and I do not like, you know, people giving me, let me put it this way. I gotta choose my words a little carefully here. I don't like taking from small businesses because they're trying to make a living as well. And so we kind of came up with this agreement that because of that video, you know, I wanted to support you guys. So we made a deal about those gift cards. So, all right, take it easy. Yep. You can always watch us on the replay. Your health is number one. So get some rest. You can always catch us on the replay. Do not sacrifice your health to watch me. I would feel really, really bad. So yeah, that is how we're going to do giveaways on the channel. Like I said, I've been thinking about this for a while. And it's just going to be random, out of the blue. And I'll do, you know, we'll do number guessing. We'll do... You know, I'll do a random video, and then if you see, like, I'll do a special code, and maybe the first one to email me back will get a prize. So, still a little more logistical stuff I've got to sort out. But that's kind of the way I think it's fair to. No, you're a wise lady. You are a wise lady. Young at heart. Your layout. I love your layout because you got some pro tip, you got some, you know, realistic stuff, and then you go straight into the fantasy. I love that. Absolutely love that. And don't let anyone discourage you from what you are doing. Yeah, no, Split Rock, not happening. No. Nope. But that you did remind me of something else, just completely 180 from that. As far as, so we got some updates. Leveled up human, yeah, yep. But yeah, if you haven't seen Tammy and Ray's layout, it's pretty epic. But you guys know everyone in here. Everyone does some sort of content for the hobby. You guys are awesome when it comes to representing the hobby in your own different ways and layouts and so forth. So don't let anyone tell you how to build your own layout. That's my advice. Do what makes you happy. All right. So something that I remember, I did get another email from Bernard about the minifigure scan for Rayron. So it's still in the works. I'll get to see the sample here soon. So hang tight, guys. Pretty soon we'll have your mini dragon on your layout soon. And then once I'm able to see it, you guys will be the first to, I'll either do a post about it or I'll put it on a live stream for you guys to see kind of what the figure was. But I'm excited. I'm giddy. It was a complicated scan because just looking at the model, and we'll go from there. Yeah. And it's like, I will touch on this just for a hot minute. because I don't like getting into a lot of. It's not. Don't let anyone tell you how to build. Don't let anyone tell you for your personal layout. Again, this is a huge caveat. Don't let anyone tell you how to build your layout, how to build your track. You can ask for advice. Again, everyone preaches this. And number one thing, too, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about a few streams ago. Don't let anyone gatekeep you from doing something that you want to do on your own personal layout. So that's a big thing. That's a big thing. Oh, I appreciate that. So yeah, we'll be in touch, BCA parts. I'll figure out a way to get a hold of you. And yeah, there'll be more to come. So yeah, I cannot wait. Yeah, yeah, and the whole term about advice and gatekeeping and all these other things, it deserves a video essay. If you guys don't know, I follow a podcast called Every Frame a Pause, and in my opinion, they're like our modern day philosophers. They dissect like movies, pop culture, and all that stuff, and they do a really good job of just dissecting the issue. And I want to do a video essay on gatekeeping and just advice and constructive criticism and all that. But it deserves an independent script. It deserves a video, and it deserves the time to flush a lot of things out. And so that is a conversation for a whole nother day. I want to get to running trains because we can spend a whole hour on that topic, but I want to give it its due time and process. You have a bunch of mini prints, nice, nice. Because again, I'm passionate about this hobby, and I got to make sure that what I want to portray, it deserves some drafting, redrafting, edits, and all that crap. So. I'm doing better. I had a headache all freaking day, and it's like as soon as I got home, I took a nap, I ate, and then when I woke up, finally it broke. Took some medicine. So I am doing fine. Also, real fine K, I decided that I am gonna go to Temple. So I think some other YouTubers are going, from what I remember. So I'm gonna try a network, try to hand out holographic cards or holographic stickers, which I think you have one already. But I am gonna go Temple because the thing about Temple is that they're gonna have an RPM show as well, and seeing how the RPM show went in St. Louis, I really want to go just to see and experience an RPM show as well. Because that's something that you guys haven't seen on this channel, and I think it'll be kind of cool to present that to you guys as content as well. Because you guys have seen the National Train Show now, but you really haven't seen like an RPM or an op session and so forth. Lynn McCurdy, how are you, good sir? And the High Desert Model Modular Railroad Club. I think I got that right. Yes, Temple, Texas. Yes. I will do the flyer right here. So this is the show that's happening tomorrow and Sunday. So yes, that's where I will be at tomorrow. I'll do some recording. I really just want to go. I probably won't have a massive haul because I'm kind of on a budget right now. There's like only one thing I'm really wanting to get, which is another Zephyr Dome car. But the big thing that I want to really capture is the RPM portion of this show. You got it right. Yeah, hey, hey. Oh, killing Texas. Nice. Yeah, I'm in San Antonio right now. So just about an hour south of Austin. I think about an hour and 20 from this train show. So yeah, it gets me out of the house a little bit. Ferry VR is actually in Kansas right now, doing some business there. So I'm kind of got the house to myself. But yeah, I'll be here. I'll be at this train show tomorrow. So I'm excited. I've never seen an RPM show, so this will be a whole nother first for me. You guys will get to experience my first-hand take on an RPM show. And we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. So, but I'm excited. Oh, and Lynn, Yeah, I'm checking tonight, and well, no, so it should have come tonight, and I'll check tomorrow. If I get it tomorrow, my number one goal is to get the video out hopefully by Sunday. That's that's the goal, assuming that I can get to it, because I'm basically going there, getting set thing, and then going straight to the train show, and then I'm going to the Texas Transportation Museum after that because they have free admission, and that gives me another layout to record. So tomorrow's going to be a massive, massive recording session for me. Really, really busy day too. Um, and then I'm continuing to working on my mega project that I'm doing for November. Lots and lots of recording. But I'm excited. Absolutely excited. Okay, guys, so I think that's all the news that I have. So let's run some trains. So today on the layouts we have the Chicago Northwestern. This is the UP Heritage Unit. This is an MTH Protosound 3, which I am not a fan of because it only programs on the main, which is a nightmare wiring wise. But anyways, this is an MTH. This is basically Chicago Northwestern passenger trains. You guys have probably seen it on my shorts over at the Samurai Club. And then we got, because one thing that I wish I should have done, this is kind of a lesson learned from me. I should have gotten a couple of first responder engines. 'Cause I think CSX has first responders. I think Montana Rail Link has one. I should have done something for, the memorial of 9/11, but I just didn't have the time to really do anything special for it. So for now, we're just going to put our Atlas boxcar on there, kind of to celebrate America. And again, never to forget the events that happened. But with that being said, we'll jump on to Chicago Northwestern. No split rock. I didn't do anything for the RPM. I just didn't have the time. Between getting all the content out from the 2023 train show and Murray train show, I just didn't have enough time to really get everything together. And I think the RPM part of it was last minute as well. I think they announced it like a month ago that the RPM was attached to this train show, and I think this is the first year that they're doing the RPM portion of it. So yeah, it's actually, I think, something new this year with this train show. So now that I know that, I'm gonna try to do something next year for just to get some points and judge for MMR. So that's on my radar for next year for sure. Yeah, I do like, the one thing I like about MTH is that they are heavy, heavy, heavy engines. They can pull. So we're going to go ahead and get this guy going. I can't mute the sound, so if it's a little overpowering, let me know, and I'll switch to a different Chicago Northwestern. But we'll take it from there. So some of these coaches are kind of mixed and matched. We've got River Rossi, we've got IHC, AMC, I think. So it's a complete Frankenstein passenger train. But you guys know me, I like my new old rolling stock. Yeah, and that's why I'm going. Because originally I wasn't planning on going, and then I heard that, oh yeah, there's going to be an RPM element to it. It's like, ooh. Considering what I heard about it from Bernard when he went to St. Louis, I need to go. And that kind of won me over. And that's the thing too about it, is that I can learn what these other model railroaders are doing and what they're building and creating, because I want to take as many pictures as I can, because that's actually really the whole intent, is that I want to take as many pictures of those models as I can, so that way you guys can see that. Mystic Railroad, how are you, good sir? I am doing much better than I was this morning. Went to work, I was doing fine, and then I had a headache, and then I ate, and then like around 1 o'clock I was getting dizzy, nauseated a little bit. But took some medicine and took a nap when I got home from work, and I'm much better now. CNW is your road. Awesome. But yeah, hopefully everyone is doing fine. If you guys are going to a train show in your area, feel free to let us know. Yep, and we had our first giveaway. I was talking with Bernard, and because of the video that I captured for him for his mini prints clinic, you know, if you didn't hear over his live stream, he said that I could have anything that I want from the store. But instead of getting any item that I wanted, because I don't like getting free things from small businesses, we came to the compromise that we do gift cards because I want to give back to you guys, and BCR Parts won our first giveaway, so pretty awesome. And again, if you guys don't know Bernard from Mini Prints, for those of you who either watch this on the replay or if you're watching the stream for the first time and just lurking in the background, Mini Prints is an awesome dude. miniprints.com. He does some awesome figurines for the scale. He does peanut butter lid challenges, which is awesome. I'll probably actually have Fairy VR enter the winter one, because winter is my season. I mean, I'm the Ice Dragon, for crying out loud. Winter is my jam. So, and one thing I'm going to do to this layout is we're definitely going to have a Christmas theme. We'll probably have a Christmas tree probably to my back left or your guys' right. So it's going to be an awesome time. You're going to an op session on Saturday. Awesome. Yeah, Samurai has their op session tomorrow, but I'm not going to participate because I've got so many other things going on. What is their operating scheme? What do they use? They use car carts, waybills, switch lists. What do they use? All right, Lynn McCurdy is going to be going to the Santa Barbara Zoo. I have been there. It is a great zoo. I have seen their layout minus the aircraft carrier and the battleship. I wish I could have seen those modulars, but definitely something to go check out. Ridgecrest was a little too far for me. But we were there. See, we met. Oh, what was it? Oh, Tehachapi Loop. It was at the Tehachapi Loop train shows where I met Lynn. And yes, his mustache and beard are epic. Winter's the Valley of Death for me. Okay, so it's car carts and waybills. Yeah. Awesome. All right, let's see here. But yeah, so what am I? Yep. That seemed like yesterday, Lynn. That seemed like yesterday. Time is flying. Time is flying. And it's crazy. Yep. Yeah, one thing I wish I could have done at the Santa Barbara Zoo was capture. They have a train ride. I don't know exactly what scale it is. But I captured the one here at Six Flags Fiesta in San Antonio. That video I need to actually get edited and put out, because it's going to be another Beyond the Icy Rails video. So, there you go. So yeah, if you want to meet Lynn, NMRA convention next year is going to be at Long Beach, California. For personal reasons, I am not going to be there. Like I said, usually we can do one big national train show a year, and I think I really want to try to get to Amherst in January. If that doesn't work, then it'll be Timonium in October of next year. It's going to be one of those two, because we'll definitely have enough time to hit the one in October for Timonium. So it'll be one or the other. One or the other. Yeah, time goes by fast. Boxcar the Husky, how you doing? How are you? So for those of you who are joining, those of you who are lurking, those of you who are new to the channel, right now we're just sitting back, relaxing. We're doing the one thing I love to do about model railroading, which is sitting back, relaxing, watching a train go around in circles, and talk about the world's greatest sandbox hobby. Because sandbox is important when it comes to this hobby. So I got the UP Heritage Unit Chicago Northwestern pulling the Chicago Northwestern passenger train. Of course, it is a fantasy railway. Awesome. So I know we have a lot of YouTubers in the chat here. Let me know what your guys' next video is. What are you guys up to? Feel free to kind of promote what you're doing. What scale do you do? All right, let's see, where is the train at? Let's go ahead and bring this camera up. So little by little, we are setting up kind of the factories for our op session. I still have a whole bunch of things to get set up. I've just fallen behind. Almost got an update ready. Nice, Mystic. Our N scaler. What do we got here? Okay, Eastern SP Rails. I will go check him out. Nice. All right, Lynn, you got the Santa Fe 3751. Yep, I saw that. Wash it. That was awesome. And that's the thing about this hobby. It is so big that not one YouTuber can capture it all. Again, I typically do HO, so I try to do my best to capture that scale. But yeah, there's plenty of other people doing some awesome things. Thank you, Mystic. I appreciate that. That's what I try to do. All right, let's get our next view. Let's see. And hopefully I'm not peaking on the mic. If I'm peaking, just let me know. The last two streams, I noticed some peaking, which really made me mad, but I completely overhauled my audio system. I'm basically using the audio system that I do for my videos. So we'll see how it is. Yeah. And again, a lot of people say it better than I can. And really the person who's really leading the way in that, at least from what I see in my sphere of YouTube and from what I watch on YouTube channels, is Anthony Dodge. Anthony Dodge has those rules about layouts. I definitely champion those rules because it is really, really good. And I want to give some advice to... no. I'm going to save that for my video. I'm going to save that for my video because, again, that's a video essay. But, yeah. Again, when it comes to your own personal layout, do what makes you happy. Alright, let's take you guys to Phoenix Point. Oh no, Boxcar. Yeah, because you got a unique scale. You know, you working an S scale, and it's an up and coming scale. That is probably one of the most famous clips out there. Yeah, going right in the middle of that freeway. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. As you can see, too, in the background now, we got a whole bunch of new stickers that I finally put up. These are the stickers that I got from the NMRA train show. We've got, I met George from Soundtracks, you guys saw on my video of episode 2 of the vendors. We've got Class 1 Model Works. We've got Atherin. We got, well, I think, see, Atherin, Scale Trains, MRH. Oh, Intermountain is up there. So, yeah, the sticker wall is slowly and surely being populated. Oh, and speaking of stickers, so my first wave of Operation Winter's Coming is pretty much complete. I'm working on wave 2. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm giving non-holographic stickers through email, or through the mail, I should say. If you want a sticker, please email me at rayronvr@protonmail.com. You'll find that in the About section on the YouTube channel. And again, the holographic ones are for those that meet me in person. It just gives a little bit more speciality and a little bit of a thank you to those who take the time to go out to these train shows and we have a good time. So our friends got some more review video in the work. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, the fan trips. Every Monday I try to do a railfan video. That's kind of been my schedule lately because I know a lot of people love that, and you know, it's just one more thing about the hobby. And another thing too is that in my local area, there's a lot of graffiti art when it comes to some of these trains. So that way I don't mind capturing it for those who do graffiti art. It gives you some ideas, hopefully inspiration. So yeah. And like I said, I can always give advice, but like everything else on YouTube, take everything with a grain of salt. If you guys have not watched Bernard's painting clinic on his channel, highly recommend it. He says a lot of good things. The big thing that I will echo from what he said in that clinic is trial and error and experiment. Experiment. This entire layout, I cannot begin to tell you how many months, years, how many cut fingers I got because of cutting track, and just how much experimentation I've done on this layout to get it to this point. Trial and error will be your best friend. So just find what works for you. Let's get you guys the overhead cam here. I'll take you to the, oh, and you're not gonna work. What? You're not gonna work, huh? Is this how it's gonna go? Okay. Well, that's not gonna happen. I'll get you guys the HD camera. Since we're talking about rail fanning, let's take it to the rail fanning camera. So you can kind of see off to the right there, I've got a Mopac train that's sitting right there. That's going to be part of my op session. I'm going to have 2 trains in my op session. I'm basically going to have the Iceyville local, and then we're going to have the Iceyville Express train there. And that's just to get my feet wet when it comes to operation. Again, we talk about that whole trial and error aspect of the hobby. Where literally that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to trial and error operations to figure out, get a good flow of operations, figure out how I want to, again, kind of role play everything. So. Yep, there you go. Yeah, it's a very popular video. Absolutely. Alright, let me take you to this camera angle. So again, this camera angle kind of highlights my modular scenery that I'm kind of do. It's basically a floating shelf that attaches to a clamp at the bottom of the modular. And that allows me to interchange scenery and interchange industry, which is what I'm heavily experimenting with ops. So we've got this one built. It was kind of my prototype. And so that box car there is going to be part of our operations. I'm not exactly sure what goods it's going to load yet. Oh, thank you, BCF Parts. Appreciate that. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm going to do for the rest of the layout as well. There's little 12-inch sections that I can put these floating shelves on to give us a little bit more scenery, break up kind of the monotonous of having nothing on the layout. So Mystic, I'm when it comes to the buildings, I cheat. I will admit I cheat, and I buy them like that. A lot of modelers around this area have passed away, unfortunately. And so Samra and some of these other train shows have been acquiring these. And some of these buildings that I got here were actually part of a fundraiser. This guy passed away. And so they were raising money for one of the local community. I can't remember exactly what the charity was for. But I bought a whole bunch of them because I support the charity. And I love these buildings. They're on the layout. And so, yeah, I struggle when it comes to buildings. I'm trying to learn the method to create buildings and to scratch build and to kit bash and all that. I want to get into that part of the hobby. The problem is time. Like I said, I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time student, and I'm trying to be a full-time. You can stop now, camera. Thank you. You guys know me. I'm a workaholic, so kind of being a full-time YouTuber as well on the side. So naturally, some things about this hobby I just can't touch, unfortunately. For right now. Now, what I will say is that Fairy VR has the eye, has the touch for scenery. You guys kind of saw it on my haul video from the National Train Show, where she actually went to one of the clinics that Woodland Scenics was doing, and she has an eye for scenery, so I'm going to put her to work. Papa John, how are you, good sir? How many cabooses did you get this time? How many train shows? What's the report? What's the after action report from your week? I know you had a couple train shows. Yep. Oh, what do I do that's called cheating? I buy pre-painted, pre-built, pre-weathered scenery. That's my cheating. I sadly admit. One of these days, I'll have my own building, scratch built, but I gotta do a little bit of a cheat. So, again, I define it as cheating. You guys can define it however. I mean, we can wordsmith it to death, but that's, for me, yeah, it's kind of cheating. But if it works, it works. Fair enough. So my definition is cheating. Mystic calls it the easy button. Again, it's whatever works that makes your layout. It's, it goes back to how do you want to do your layout. Yeah, Winx Scenics has those plug and play lighting kits that I'm definitely going to take advantage of in the future. Or I will create my own. I'll probably actually end up creating my own, because I know how to wire a lot of that stuff already. I just got to get the right crimpers to make it work right. So I've been eyeballing a lot of those things. You posted 12 videos. There you go. If you guys want to see kind of the collecting life, definitely head over to Papa John. And again, we got a whole bunch of awesome YouTubers here. Mystic, you do N scale. Split Rock, you have a great, or I believe it's an ore layout, which is awesome. Plumber, you have a podcast on Wednesdays, HO scale. Let's see, what else? But yeah, lots of awesome people here. There you go. So Papa John's doing a meet and greet September 23. So again, go follow his channel for all the juicy details. All right, here comes our Northwestern again. All right, in a few minutes, we'll get on board the Chicago Northwestern. It's fair, yeah, because you still have to do the work of, putting on the layout, storing it, transporting it. There is some truth. Absolutely. And the reason why I buy it too is because I'm keeping someone else's work alive, and I get inspired by that. So this train is new on the stream. This one has been being put together. It first debuted on shorts. That's usually how I do new trains. A lot of my new trains get started off either. I'm on the wrong. There we go. Either are revealed on the shorts, or they are a exclusive here to the stream. Like my gas turbine is an exclusive here because it won't run on the Samurai layout. There's too many. It has issues with the turnouts, especially with ISO frogs. Yep, and that's another thing too. You have someone else install the coders. There's nothing wrong with that. So again, everyone has their niche in the hobby. I do too. For me, it's scenery and for me, it's buildings in particular. Buildings is a big one. Yep. So yeah, there's Plumber's live podcast, Cap Crew, Wednesday. He's a co-host, so he hosts it like once every 2 or 3 weeks, or once a month. But yeah, you guys can get all that information over on the Plumber's channel, or Artie's channel, or Tom Grossi's channel. Or Grossi. Or Thomas. So. Yep. So again, everyone doing awesome, great things. And again, guys, I gotta thank you. We're at 2,200 subscribers. I cannot freaking believe that we're this family is enormous. Never had I thought I'd see a day that we would grow as fast as we have. And again, you guys make this happen. This is your guys' achievement. You guys hit that subscribe button. It's basically my personal mission of mine to make sure that when you subscribe to this channel that you're going to get, not necessarily, you're going to get your time's worth. I just want to make sure that, we're promoting the hobby. And so I do it so many different ways. So I appreciate each and every one of your support. There you go, Papa John. 78. Keep going. Have fun. That's the big thing. Go subscribe to Papa John. Go subscribe to Split Rock, Mystic, Plumber. You've got so many different content creators here. And I'm humbled that you guys are here. You guys are taking your Friday evening to be here. So again, thank you. Thank you. You're not bragging. But we actually hit another milestone. So, breaking news, we have reached the achievement of 1 million views on the channel. Absolutely insane. Got that notification like literally minutes before we went live today. 1 million views on the channel. That is just mind-blowing to think about. So again, thank you. Yep, I believe so. Yeah, he's 3D printing buildings, interior buildings. That's actually the way I'm going to go. I got to invest into a bigger 3D printer. But I'll either buy my buildings 3D print my buildings, and then we'll go from there. There you go. Building a Tycho kit. Nothing wrong with that. So, thank you, BCI Parts. Again, it's your guys' achievement. Each and every one of you contributed to that. I'm just a normal Joe Schmo person that is trying to capture, record, and just try to present this hobby as best as I humanly can do, given the resources that I have. But it's basically YouTube, you guys, the whole family, the whole community, that will able to fit all of those other pieces together to truly present the hobby. Because there's nothing else like it. There's nothing else like it. Alrighty. Yep. IRL takes priority. I appreciate the kind words, Plumber. I appreciate it. If it's one thing I've learned about just, I guess, being a YouTuber, for lack of a better phrase, or a content creator, again, don't necessarily like those buzzwords, is, you know, respect the people who take the time to watch. Like, it's such a simple thing. And going back to the golden rule, you know, treat others the way you want to be treated. So, that's what I try to do. Now, I will definitely be trolls who troll me back before I delete the comments, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's crazy to think about. Alright, so I think we've done enough rail fanning. Let's actually get on board. So give me a hot minute here. I'll get you guys over to Phoenix Point Modular. And let's go ahead and bring up our phone camera here. And then we'll get you guys on board. But I'm hoping, man, I'm really hoping that that our GS4s come out soon. So I think by the end of this month, they should be getting delivered. So hopefully we'll get our Daylight, we'll get our Western Pacific, because I've got some plans. Oh boy, do I have plans for those two engines. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll get the camera on the camera train, or on the train itself. Oh, many now pizza and beer, yeah. Alright, what's your favorite pizza and what's your favorite beer? I'm not really a beer person. I'm more of like a Mike's Hard Lemonade type of person. And the harder lemonades are really, really good. Alright, let me get you guys on board here. There we go. All right. Happy Valley Hobbies, welcome, welcome. Another YouTuber here who does a stream every Sunday. Doing some, what was it, like 1900s type of content? Again, just another aspect to the hobby, which is awesome. I know you're doing some diorama here lately. Yeah, I get that reference, Plumber. I absolutely agree. Especially when you lose almost, what, 2 billion? 27 billion? But yeah, we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. But yeah, I am a meat lover / Hawaiian type of person. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board the Chicago Northwestern passenger train. Again, if you're just joining us or just lurking, the engine that is pulling this train today is a MTH Mike Trains House Protosound 3 diesel. It's wasn't a 70 ACE. Ah, there we go. 1876. There you go. Thank you for correcting me. And we got another train show in Cleveland, Ohio, 7th and 8th. And as far as the passenger cars, it's just a hodgepodge Frankenstein train. We've got River we've got HC, we've got IHC, we got all sorts of them. And I think you guys tonight have broke a record. I think this is the most people we've had on this live stream so far. So thank you guys so much. We're breaking another record on the channel today. Again, this is your guys' record. So I do greatly appreciate all you guys' support for taking your time out of your Friday evening. Again, this is not really the greatest time slot to stream, but it's the only one that's available to me just because I'm so busy IRL. So again, thank you guys so much for taking your time out to enjoy the world's greatest sandbox hobby. All right, so let's go ahead and bring up our front camera view here. All right, so coming up on your right, we've got 3 Amtrak coaches. These are very special because this will, I mean, it's not technically these type of cars, but, or the original cars, but this was part of an original set that was my first ever set that I bought going into the hobby. The original set was a Bachmann set, had like an F40 unit with those 3 coaches. It was a Bachmann Spectrum line. Again, coming up to the right is that kind of floating shelf I was talking about for modular scenery. Allows me to switch out scenery, switch out industries. So we kind of got a boxcar serving that little area right now. Got a little building to the left. Now, one thing I'm kind of a fan of too is cardboard or cardstock buildings. So you'll see that to the left. I appreciate that, BCF Parts. We got the sticker wall to the right. We are now on the Phoenix Point modular. A 2-to-1. So it's funny that you mentioned that Happy Valley. All this entire setup, I give credit to those 2 YouTubers because Humanity Junction really kind of opened up my eyes to the technology and how far we can take things. Anthony Dodge kind of gave me the inspiration to how to present with all these type of cameras. And so between those 2 and a couple others too, this is my take on presenting the hobby. Now, one thing that I've been trying to do for several years now is to live stream a camera on the train itself. That I've been trying to figure out for the longest time. And I finally figured out the last piece, which is it's kind of an exclusive thing on this channel, which I am happy because it's a pain in the rear to do. To try to live stream this camera view. And I still got to work all the kinks out of it. But for now, it's working. Obviously, the biggest limitation is that it's not NMRA compliant when it comes to heights. So your normal tunnel junctions, it won't work. But I'm not planning to have tunnel junctions on my layout. So, yeah. As you can see coming up, we've got kind of what I call the highway overpass view. It's basically a camera attached to a green screen kind of background frame thing that I Frankenstein together. The camera you see to your right is a security camera that connects to a capture card, allowing me to give you the multi-view angles. And then the shelves are from IKEA. IKEA has made me mad lately because they decided that, oh, this one person, we're selling these shelves so much, let's go ahead and jack the price up. So, yeah, was not too happy about that, but those shelves come from IKEA. They allow me to have at least 4 rows of just trains to store. And I'm planning to put more shelves on these vacant walls that you see coming up. But again, the price went up, so I'm kind of on hold. Alright, so we're coming up on, as you can see, there are 2 like normal Fremo standard modulars. You can see kind of the size difference between the modulars that you're on now and the modulars that you see kind of on the floor there. The modulars that we're on now, and this is something new that I learned from going to the NMRA train show. My layout is technically Fremo Minimo modular. So this is a Minimo or miniature modular layout because it's 12 inches wide versus the normal 26 inches wide that Fremo standards have. So it was kind of interesting to find that out. Again, Minimo is typically used as duct under bridges or branch lines when it comes to a modular layout. So what I'm using actually is a typical camera that you can get from like Amazon, and it streams to an app on my phone, and then I have software that screen captures the phone, and then I capture it through OBS. So BCF parts, here's the thing. Everyone values time differently. I simply don't have the tools to make a shelf, nor do I have the time to make the shelf. So I would rather sacrifice money a little bit to have it all ready to go and then put them up, and then I can use that time for something else like prepping a stream or converting wheels from plastic to metal. So it's about what do you want to spend more on? Do you want to spend more money to save on time, or do you want to spend more time to save on money? So for some aspects, it just depends. But if I had like a workshop, if I had the time, then I'll 100% agree with you. I would make my own things. So, and again, that's kind of the same thing from like what Mystic was saying about the decoders. You know, he would pay someone else to install the decoders for him. Me personally, I want to learn how to convert these because I want to tinker with keep alive and tinker with sounds and which type of decoders work. So that way I have the knowledge to give, if you guys want my advice on which decoders to go with, I have the experience to do that type of stuff. But the one thing that I probably won't be digging too much into is like buildings and scenery. Scenery is going to be more on Fairy VR side. I know enough to get by, but obviously I still need to practice just so I can get my feet wet. But again, it comes down to that time aspect. Maybe later when I'm retired or whatnot and I've had more time to dive into it, then yeah, I can dive into scratch building my own building and so forth. But I like the idea of purchasing buildings or definitely buying those from a former layout, because instead of going to like a landfill or something, I'm keeping someone else's legacy alive by buying the buildings that they've spent so much time on and I can present that here on the layout. And especially when it comes to these modulars, so these corner modulars that you see here, the two that make a 90, they were built by two of the people from a former modular club that I was at in California, and I kept the name. So these are Wilding Corners off of an individual who passed away because I didn't want to change the name. It just sounds really good to keep the name of the person that was working on these modulars. I don't know, Happy Valley. You would have to do the research. I don't know. You could also do, so I know Home Depot and Lowe's have these shelf rack systems. It's designed for workbenches and so forth, but it's like you put the railings. I think Heath has this too. You put the rails up on the studs, and then you've got these adjustable supports for the shelf, and you can do it that way too. If I didn't find these shelves from IKEA, I would have gone that roll. Time to roll. All right, peace and locomotive grease, good sir. Or diesel grease, or whatever the saying is. Take it easy. Thank you for stopping by. You guys are so nice. Like, this is the best family, best community on YouTube. When I go to other channels, again, there's no knock to them, but you know, we don't say night or hello or all these other things that this community does. It's truly unique. It's truly special. And I am happy and thankful to be a part of it. All right, let's get you guys back to the 2-camera view here. Or you know what? Let's do this. I'll get you guys the back view for a little bit. And I am very, very fortunate enough, you know, to have this layout. I know there's a lot of people out there that can't do the things that I do. We've got this layout. We've got the San Antonio Railroad Association. I've been invited to a startup modular club that I'll probably be a part of as well, to give advice on how to set things up electronically, because I do have that experience when it comes to Digitrax. So San Antonio is a really good city for model railroading. And it's like, there's at least 3 or 4 train shows a year, which is really nice. So I'm happy, I'm blessed, and it's just, I'm trying to capture all of it for you guys so that way you can experience the same thing that I'm experiencing. Just share it. So I think as part of my other mega project, I gotta do some N-scale recording as well. There's an N-scale bullet train that we got from that NMRA convention I gotta fix up. I think it was at GWR that I got to fix up, and then start recording that as well. I got so much recording to do. It's like whenever I'm watching someone else's live stream, I'm usually working on this mega project. I've done so much editing this whole past week. I think I've done more editing this week than I've done the whole entire year. It's just, there's so much to talk about, to edit, to record. It's nuts, but I can't wait. I can't wait when it starts, when the project gets revealed. I'm excited for it. So what else is going on in your guys' world when it comes to this hobby? Are you guys excited for any pre-releases, pre-orders you got excited for? Any kind of announcements you're looking forward to? All right, Split Rock, yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. Obviously, I can only go so far when it comes to the cameras. I'm more familiar with commercial products. If you really want to get into the weeds of like wireless LAN, WLAN, stuff like that, Heath's the one to talk to. He knows a lot of the protocols, the hardcore coding when it comes to the camera setup. Go Via Go Home is another good one that knows that type of stuff. I do a lot of commercial stuff. The big key is just experimenting too. You know, figure out what angles you want, what scenes you want to capture, because the other part of it too is figuring out what programs you want to use. Originally, I was using Streamlabs OBS, but then I quickly realized that normal OBS gives me a lot more functionality when it comes to scenes, but it's a little bit more technical too. So again, there's some trade-offs. You want the generic, easy to use Streamlabs OBS, or do you want to have the full versatility of doing what you want to present? And that's why I go with OBS, because with OBS and OBS Ninja, or Video Ninja, it allows me to do so much more. But again, you get more technical as a trade-off. Yeah, so my wife and I will also be going. So again, it's tough for Springfield, for Amherst in particular. I still don't know what we're gonna do, but yeah. Because Fairy VR has said if I'm going to Amherst, she's going too. And, you know, happy wife, happy life. So we're trying to figure out how to make that work because of our pets and everything. That's kind of the biggest tricky part about this whole thing. Because we would have to get boarding for them. So. Yeah, and the big thing about cameras too is how much you're willing to spend. Yes, I use OBS. What I'm currently using right now is OBS. Alright, Papa John, take it easy. Thank you so much for popping out. You too, Will K. Yep, I know it's getting kind of late for those on the East Coast. Central Time's on about 9:22. But yeah, you guys get your rest. Yep, and I'll see you at, maybe I'll see you at Temple tomorrow. Yep, because I will definitely be going, recording, and all that fun stuff, so. But yeah, and the other thing too is like camera systems. How much are you willing to spend for cameras? Because it does get pricey. It does get pricey. The cameras that I use for this layout, for this view here. So again, this system is a 4K security system. And they're not cheap. Like, it was an investment. But I wanted the quality and I wanted the multiple controls of these cameras. So it also depends how much you're willing to spend on it. And then the other kicker to these cameras is that cable management. You guys can kind of see over there and kind of underneath the monitor in front of you. I have cables everywhere. It is a nightmare. I'm not big onto cable management, and it shows. I basically have a giant spaghetti underneath this layout right now. So there's a lot of trade-offs, but I prefer wired cameras because I don't have to deal with wireless, how can I put this? Wireless usage that drains the overall network. Again, that goes into the weeds of the technology, but I preferred wired cameras. I just had the best results with them. But again, that's a trade-off for space. I still got to get one camera that I'm going to probably get in the future is a full 360, a 360 mobile camera that allow me to go up and down, left and right, zoom in, zoom out. I've already got the camera that I want. Because this camera here, I can only do 180. And I've actually jerry-rigged this to go 180. Technically, it's a stationary web camera that can go up to 4K. But I've got it mounted on a 180 platform to give me kind of the rail fan perspective. But the next camera I get, I'll be able to use the controller to move it up and down, left and right, zoom in, zoom out, and so forth. So, so this one, yes, this one is a security camera system that I use an Elgato capture card to go into OBS. Because the main base of the security system has an HDMI out, but then that HDMI needs to be captured by something. I use Elgato because Elgato capture card is typically the one that people tend to use on the gaming side of streaming. And for me, I like it because of latency. It is almost zero latency, so when I go to move my mouse on the screen and I see it being captured in OBS, it's instantaneous. Whereas some other capture cards don't capture at 60 FPS, or there's a little bit of a delay. So when I move my mouse on my security camera, it's a little bit slower on OBS when I go see it. But with the Elgato, it captures full 4K. It captures the 60 FPS that I need. And again, that gets really expensive. Like, I'll go ahead and say it. Between the Elgato and these capture cards, it's $1,000. And that took me forever to save up and actually get it. But it is a key feature of my presentation. That's why I wanted to get it. So again, there's trade-offs. You really got to do your research and get what you want out of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and slow data. Yep. Bandwidth. That's the term I was trying to think about. It's bandwidth capabilities with wireless. And then the other issue with the wireless is that it's not technically wireless because you still got to power the camera itself, which means that I have 8 cameras. I would need 8 different power sockets or a power strip to power each and every one of these cameras, whereas these cameras require only one cable. It's like a Ethernet cable, and they connect to the mother. The motherboard. It's not motherboard, but the main device that captures all of the information. The recorder device box, the motherboard box, whatever you want to call it, and that gives the power to each of these cameras. Nice, and you're 3 hours away from Amherst. Sweet. So again, there's a lot of trade-offs. Everyone does it differently. So I go with the security camera system. Anthony Dodge uses a whole bunch of USB 4K cameras that he's going with. I know Go Via Go Home uses wireless Logitech cameras. So again, there is a plethora. Streaming itself is a hobby as well, and there's so many ways to do it. Yep, there you go. Yep, power over Ethernet. Yep, there you go. I'm not smart with these type of things. I always use the layman terms for everything. But yes, you're right. Power over Ethernet. That's what these cables are. They transmit power and they transmit data. All in one cable, which is fascinating. When I saw that, it's like, yes, that's what I want. Because I don't have to deal with... Because my old security camera system only had the cable for the data, and then you still had to power it through a different cable, so it was twice as worse with these cameras. Whereas this one, if you spend a little bit more money, you can save on cable management and save on space. So again, it just depends on your decision matrix, which one is more valuable. Is lower cost the thing? Do you want quality? Do you want cable management? There's a plethora of things to think about. I'm probably not going to do the drone camera today. Just because I feel I don't want to feel stressed trying to fly this stupid thing. And I got my my ceiling fan going because it's kind of warm up here. But yeah, there's a plethora of ways of doing things. And it's literally just trial and error, figuring out what angle did I want, and go forth. I hear you, Split Rock, and that's where I'm eventually going to next. My issue with live streaming operation sessions, at least on my end, is that I need a wireless mic. Because I don't like trying to have to scream into my stationary XLR mic that I've got on the desk here. I need an XLR wireless mic to put on my chest so that way as I walk around the room you guys can hear me a little bit clearer. So that is my obstacle right now. And obviously I gotta get the whole system set up, which I'm not even there yet. So yeah, if you're thinking about live streaming operations, some things to think about. Do you just want to capture people operating? Do you want to capture the yards? Do you want to capture people talking? There's just so many things to think about. And yeah, and not a lot of people do live stream operations. It's definitely a big part of the hobby for sure. So yeah, definitely a lot of things to think about. Do you want to mic up people doing operations? Do you do operations by yourself? I think for you said maybe 3 operators max, 4 operators max for your layout. Things to think about too is, do you want to capture the dispatcher? Do you want to capture the interactions between the dispatcher and engineer? I mean, there's so many cool things to think about. So I know from my perspective, again, I got to get the wireless mic for me so that way you guys can still hear me. I'll have a phone on my wrist so I can still see chat. And then I'll have my GoPro. My GoPro will be mounted on my shoulder. And then that video feed can be fed to my phone, which then can be captured onto OBS to stream. Because the app allows me to do a feed from the GoPro. And then that way you guys can get the full experience of how I manage car cards and how I switch things and so forth. So yeah, I mean, and those are just food for thoughts. It's not, I'm not telling you to do anything in a particular way. It's just, these are the things that I've gone through my processes to figure out how I'm going to do my operating sessions. My solo operating sessions. So, but that'd be cool. I can't wait for you to trial and error and get that set up. And with these particular cameras, I've got basically like an external battery. So that way they can give me that feed. So I have to find the respective flat car, make sure the track is stable, make sure that car is not wobbly or anything. So just a lot of little things to think about. And those are a lot of the lessons learned in order to get this type of setup that we have today. So I've already got a wrist mounted. I already have a wrist mounted phone. I'll show you what I have here. Let's see. Let's go to just me. So this is what I use. So literally what I do is I have this right here. And so when I go to moving around the layout, this is a very older phone that I can rotate. And this will allow me to see chat. So when I'm walking around the layout, that's how I've kind of solved that problem. The issue that I have is that whenever you're dealing with microphones, I use XLR. So that way I can get the better quality of audio. And so the next hurdle that I've got to get over is getting a wireless XLR mic. It's basically going to be like a bud mic that you put on kind of like the collar of your shirt or something like that. Heath uses that. And it's basically like you've got the butt of the microphone on your shirt, and then on your belt loop you have like a little power pack and a transmitter that transmits the signal to the receiver, which then via XLR cables goes into my Scarlett 212 box, which then goes to the computer that gets captured through OBS. Sorry if that sounded like a little technical, but that's the next hurdle that I need to do, and those get a little pricey, and that's where the hang up is right now, is that a lot of the pre-orders have been taking a lot of money lately because I got a lot of pre-orders, so it's kind of been on the back burner. So probably what I'll do with my operations is I'll probably capture it and do videos first, and then take it to live streaming once I have that mic. Okay. So that there's your requirement number one is stationary cameras. So now the next thing you want to consider is, do you want to go wired? Do you want to go wireless? Yeah. So again, make out a list of all the things that you want to have, and then start looking around, start shopping around. I cannot stress that enough. Shop around for things that are in your budget. And then go on YouTube and find a YouTuber that unboxes or reviews that product to see if that's something that you want to do. I spent countless amounts of hours on YouTube seeing people use the items that I want to buy, especially if it's going to be something really expensive like these security cameras. Go on YouTube and see how it's unboxed, how it's put together, how does it function. So that way you can get a good, honest opinion, or not necessarily, you can get the knowledge that you need to figure out if that's something that you want to buy. And I've done that for everything that I've done. I've done that for the cameras. I've done that for the mic system that I have, even for drones, Now, there is kind of a caveat to this, too. Normally what I do is I usually get the cheapest version of something, and then I'll eventually upgrade later. So that's kind of oh goodness gracious. Okay, so let's start with what should be coming out this month, which is the two GS4s, the Daylight from Broadway Limited and the Western Pacific. I've got several F units from BLI that are coming out. I've got the Sharks, the Shark Nose diesels that are coming out in December. Yeah. There's so many things. Let me matter of fact, let me go to my list. Let me go to my list here of pre-orders. I'll get to your question in a minute, Happy Valley. Okay, so we've got I've got a Pico diesel, the SP unit, the one that we saw from the sample that Pico had. It was like that German diesel that has kind of the cab on top. I can't remember the exact name. It's like a German word. That's coming out in November. I've got the Bachmann caboose that should be coming out in October. So in December we've got so we got the F9 units. I got two MKD F9 units coming out. December is killing me right now. So I think it was BLI is coming out with the F9 MKD units. They're also coming out with some P units. I think I've got the Missouri Pacific, MKD, and I think UP P units on pre-order. And then BLI is dominating with their shark noses. They've got 2 Fantasy Scheme shark noses that I'm getting. And then I'm getting the Southern Pacific and the Missouri Pacific that's coming out in December. So that's why I'm kind of hurting. And then it gets better after that, but that's what I got coming. Okay. So here's the thing. Yes, I can use it. The quality sucks. I am a stickler when it comes to audio, and I'm still trying to fix. I want good, crisp audio. That is just I am super anal about that. That's why the last 2 streams when I heard back on the replay, I was upset because I heard the cracking. It annoyed my ears. I almost took them down, but there's still good information in there, so I kept it up. The best, at least from all my research, from what I've seen other content creators use, the best type of audio is XLR mics. And I want to have that. I want to have it. I want it as crisp and as good as I can get it. And you got to spend a pretty penny. So I'm a stickler for it. So yeah, I can do it, but again, I'm picky about it. And then background noise too. You guys don't hear this noisy ceiling fan on top because I've got one of the top dynamic microphones here. It is the equivalent to a shear mic, which I'm still thinking about getting the shear mic. That's how serious I am about my audio. But that is something that I do not want to go cheap on. So that's why I'm kind of taking my time when it comes to the audio. But yes, it can work. It's gonna sound like crap. So 15 wired USB cameras. Okay, cool. So you have the number amount of cameras. So at this point, experiment. Are they so what I would say right now is that you've got the 15 wired USB cameras, make sure you have external USB power buses to make sure that they can power that. And then something that I would also recommend, make sure you check what type of USB it is. If it's 2.0 or 3.0. If you have a 3.0 camera, make sure you cradle to grave that 3.0 capability. What I mean by that is, take the camera. If it's a USB 3.0, make sure you have a 3.0 extender cable or a 3.0 USB hub, and then take that all the way to a USB 3.0 on your computer, because that's what I use for this 180, and you're just going to get the best quality out of those cameras. Now, if they're a 2.0, then anything 2.0 wise will work. But from what I have seen from my testing, getting USB cameras that have 3.0 capability and taking it all the way to the 3.0 slot in your computer, you're going to get some good quality out of it. And that's what I've actually done with this camera right here. This is right now I can only stream up to 1080p, but this is a 1080p USB 3.0 all the way into the computer. And this is kind of the results of that. Okay. So you use iPhone. I have Android, and the way I capture my phone is through an app on my computer called Mirror2, Mirrorto. That's the software that I'm using to capture from my phone. But the other thing that you got to take in consideration is that app, in order to talk to my phone, it requires to be in what's called, I think, development mode or USB development programming mode or something like that. And it kind of walks you through the process, but I can't tell you how it works for iPhones. I am an Android user. So you'll have to do additional research to find that linkage. Yeah, there you go. So and that's the thing about it. And I am not gonna bash the Blue Snowball because I have used very very cheap $10 mics before, and it gets you into live streaming. And once you start to understand how that Blue Snowball works, then you can start understanding how you sound. And then are you satisfied with that sound? If you're satisfied with that sound, then don't bother try to upgrade something that's going to be really really expensive. For me personally, I have a very unique voice. I'm Hispanic, so I slur a lot of my words together, and so I'm gonna give you guys. Hang on, let me give you guys another YouTuber since we're kind of on this topic of mics. There's an awesome YouTuber, and I will bring him up right now. If you guys are in the market to really invest into microphones, there's only one YouTuber that really does it really freaking well. And that is, let me go ahead and get rid of, sorry, I meant to. Podcast Age. This channel is legit. This is how I found what type of mic I wanted to use. He goes through a plethora of microphones on the XLR side. And really USB side as well. He compares everything under the sun when it comes to microphones for live streaming or podcasts. Really, really, really good. And the big thing about it is that you can hear the difference. When he does his reviews, he does it on a plethora of different mics, so you can hear the voice, how the inflections, how the peak, how the tones of the voice is compared to each microphone out there. And then that's when I realized, oh, my voice is unique. And for being Hispanic, I realized that a dynamic microphone works well for me when I go to replay. So when I make my videos and my voiceovers, I use a dynamic microphone, XLR. You got two different types. You got obviously you got the USBs that are out there, but then when it comes to the XLR mics, you've got I think it's Cardio. I think is the one, and then you got dynamic. This one right here is a dynamic that I'm using. But again, if you're in the market for searching through microphones, my goodness, this is binge. Just give this channel a chance. I think you'll be satisfied. So that's my recommendation there. And that's the thing about it. So, and there's nothing wrong with the blue. What was it? The Blue Snowball. A lot of YouTubers use it. It's a good entry level mic. Welcome back, Mystic. No worries, BCA Parts. You know, you can always catch us on the replay. No harm, no foul. But yeah, YouTube is an endless resource for research, for testing, for figuring out exactly what you want your setup to be. But yeah, going back to those 15 cameras, connect them. You know, figure out where you want to place. You won't know what you want until you start actually putting things out there, putting on different parts of the layout, seeing if you need to buy extra length USB, and then just connect it all and then just stream it. Because you won't know what you need until you actually go live. Like, I can't stress that enough. You won't know what you need until you actually do it. And that's always half the battle. Oh, man, that sounds amazing. That sounds amazing. Don't say cheesecake split rock. Oh, that makes me want to go to Cheesecake Factory now and get the tiramisu cheesecake. Oh, just to die for. There you go. And again, like I said, obviously price is going to be a factor. But I doing XLR is amazing. So hopefully that helps you, Happy Volley. That is a channel that I've learned everything that I learned about audio. It was amazing. Nice. But yeah, those are for like really, if you really want to get serious, you know, that's my recommendation. Again, don't bust a budget if you can't do it. That has been my 12-long year journey with streaming, because I started this mess on Twitch, and then eventually migrated to YouTube. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. So another thing that I would also recommend kind of researching too, if you're really going into cameras, start research. One thing I would research is stands. Research phone camera stands. Research like normal camera stands. See what you can find out there. Amazon's a great place for tinkering, because this camera is mounted to a 180, or is it 180? No, 360 stand that's mounted to another foldable stand. So I don't know if your webcams have like an adapter on the bottom. I think it's like 3.5 millimeter standard. I can't remember the exact standard numbers for attachments when it comes to camera stands and so forth. But that's something else to look into. Nice. See, and that's one cool thing about Heath, is that because he's in the theater, he can really take streaming to a whole new level. Like, one thing that I'm probably considering looking into is the I forgot the name of it. The camera that has a screen in front of it. So basically I'm looking at the screen while you guys are chatting with the camera behind it. Like a teleprompt screen. I think that a teleprompter. I think that's what the name of it is. And it's like, oh, that's freaking genius. But again, that's going to cost an arm and a leg. But it's just amazing. We all have different skills. We all have different traits. And again, it just goes back to the model that this hobby is so big. And then you attach streaming to that. And there's a lot to cover. And that's why I call it a sandbox, because there's so many different ways of doing this. You got two massive types of sandbox hobbies: live streaming and broadcasting, and model railroading. So many things you can do. Yeah, you guys got it. So 1/4x20 thread. So there's converters too. A couple of my stands have thread converters to go from the smaller to the big one. You guys have nailed it for the types. You guys are a lot smarter than me. This brain can only hold so much information. I can get like 60% there, but I can't get like 100% there. That's why I need you guys. So yeah, you guys got it. And there's even one that one camera mount that I really want to get is the camera mount that's on a track, and then that camera basically slides along that track with a remote controller, depending on how you want to do it. So imagine, I'm going to call it like the car chase camera view. So eventually I'll have like a little shelf with that camera track. And so that way, as a train moves, the camera moves along with it. So that's kind of the next evolution in the camera that I want to take for this layout. And then obviously I want to get a better drone camera so we can get some awesome overhead shots. But again, we're just touching the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this stuff. Mystic, I started like on the very cheapest like Walmart phone, and that's how I started my videos. But it's the the practice and the trial and error that allowed me to learn what kind of camera I needed to upgrade to next. Someday, Happy Valley, someday. I just want to make sure I have a functional layout first. But again, it's not a bad thing to start on the cheapest thing. There is a YouTube video out there, and I can't remember what it was called, but you basically had two individuals, one brand new novice film recorder, and he is given like the most top of the line camera, has a whole bunch of features, and then you have the expert who's given like a very cheap entry level camera, and they both needed to like record a video on like shoes. And the most experienced person was able to create a really good video out of it because he knew kind of the techniques and so forth of the cheaper camera, whereas the most expensive camera with the new guy, he didn't know how to use half the features that were on there. So there's a case to be made that starting off cheap is not necessarily a bad thing. And in reality, you could actually save more money because you eventually gain the knowledge to go into the next thing. So, yeah. And everyone's definition of functional is different. It is really actually a subjective term. Or maybe functional for me is not functional to you. It goes back to the old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So, and that's the thing, just filming the video is kind of half the battle. Once you start understanding how to edit and how to add things you want to add to make it a little bit more better quality, I mean, that's the thing. So, yeah, technology over skill. Yep. What you guys see here today is a result of that. I've used the cheapest stuff imaginable, and then I just went with it. If you guys look at my very first video, and I think Mystic, you can definitely contest to this, a lot of my first videos on this channel was filmed, and on my oldest phone possible, my oldest camera system possible. And then I just did it. And then over time, I would rewatch those videos, rewatch the live streams, and then I realized, oh, I really should get a better quality camera, or I should tweak my mic setups and so forth. Um, yeah, you just trial and error experiment, and then it takes time. Yeah, and you may discover features on that phone that will make you better, and then when you get your next phone or you need to upgrade next camera, you know that at a bare minimum you got to have these functions. And so another thing that I'm kind of learning right now in my stage of, I guess, production, for lack of a better phrase, is data management. It is a whole nother animal when you start getting into the higher quality content. When it comes to 1080p, when it comes to 4K, especially when you're recording longer amounts of distance, when you start recording like hours worth of footage, that's when you really got to start thinking about the size of your hard drives. How am I going to transfer all this information? I learned the hard way that I need to make sure everything I use to transfer data is USB 3.0 because it saves me so much more time transferring data with USB 3.0 over 2.0. And then the other thing that I had to think about that I never had an issue with until now was storage space. How am I going to store all this information so that if a video gets taken down or if one of my files corrupts, do I have a backup? You know, are you going to have a cloud-based storage system? Are you going to have a dedicated physical hard drive with you? Like, if you haven't thought about that now, that is a big recommendation from me in this late in the game, is figure out data management. How are you going to transfer those videos? Where are you going to store it? You know, what cloud-based services do you want to pay for? What sizes of things do you need to get? It's just a lot to think about on the production side of things. But again, that's if you really want to go above and beyond. Sometimes just keeping it simple works too. And I've fallen into that trap that I want to make this as fancy as possible, but then it gets too fancy to the point that the audience misses the mark of the original point of the thing that you're recording to begin with. So that's why I like the balance that I have now. I do shorts because it's short, simple, and to the point. It doesn't require any editing, and it just keeps it basic. You know, here's a model train going from left to right on a layout. You know, mimicking rail fanning, mimicking the first time you guys have seen when you were younger, seeing a train go by. And then I get into my hour-long complex projects, like I think my most complex project so far, until November hits, was the NMRA train show. Because I did so many new things. You know, interviewing people, talking to people, trying to capture moments, walking around a giant venue. Traveling to set venue on an epic scale. And then one thing that I've quickly learned to realize is that it's not necessarily the size of the SD card that should matter, it's the amount of SD cards you should have. So let me explain. Technology loves to bug out. I have learned very quickly that if I have captured something that I do not want to lose, let's say you recorded an hour worth of touring layouts. Once that hour is done, swap out SD cards. Now, you may not have filled up that SD card, but that SD card may corrupt later on. So that's something that I'm starting to learn as a technique is that usually after 30 minutes or after an hour of recording content, automatically switch out SD cards because I don't want to lose that hour's worth of footage on the entire SD card. So I've learned that I thought I needed really big SD cards like 256, but then I'm quickly realizing that I need to actually go one size below, but more of them, so that way I can rotate them out, so that way I reduce the risk of losing that information if it gets corrupted, if that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that, Mystic. So yeah, definitely. What I'm learning right now as a content creator is not only data management, but data handling. So that's kind of been a big one lately that I'm trying to figure out. It's like, okay, I actually need to have a case that has a lot of SD cards, but then rotate them out every so often. So, and I've realized that I spent way too much money on size. I actually needed to spend more on smaller size so I can rotate them out to avoid SD card corruption. But again, that's just me. That's just me. And that's because too I use GoPros, and GoPros use those micro SD cards. You may not even use SD cards, so your whole data management system may be completely different. Some people record on their phone that doesn't have SD cards, and so what I would recommend at that point is have a cloud-based service, either one that allows you to take your data into a hard drive that's at home, like Keith uses, or use something like Google Drive or OneDrive, so that way you can have access to all of it on a different system. So, my way of doing data management, I use several different things. I use Microsoft's OneCloud, and what I do is things like thumbnails, things like descriptions and notes, things that I need to get access to on multiple different computers. I use my cloud drive for that. If I have to transfer something from my phone to another computer, I use the cloud to do that. Um, Sorry, I got a message from a club mate here, but it's really things to think about because I'm going through a lot of trial and error right now to do it. How many 3.5 floppy disks is that? Oh my goodness, that takes me back. Does it play Oregon Trail? That'll be my next question. That brought me back. Those freaking disc things. Let's see. What other things have I been learning lately? And again, not everyone can afford GoPros. Like, they are expensive. So again, you just gotta do what works best for you. Trial and error. Start small, then go big if it's really a requirement for you. Figure out what your priorities are. But first and foremost, um, I guess I do have a rule number one, which is have fun, but also have knowledge. Because if you're knowledgeable, I think knowledge and fun kind of go hand in hand because you got to be knowledgeable to build something like this and then have fun. So, yeah. But again, have fun. That's usually the big thing. And then don't tell others how to freaking do their layouts. It's a big thing for me lately. And so many other great YouTubers have videos about the subject as well. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's get you guys back on the train here. uh, that's great. Oh. Ooh, what's this? Hang on. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I should be looking at this later. I was given a digital copy of the Conrail Quarterly magazine. And I think there's some goodies in here about the train show tomorrow. Okay, I'll look at that later. I shall look at that later. What is the purple? Purple. Purple. Domed thing? Was the only thing that's purple is my Lysol wipes, but that helps me clean. I was cleaning the desk this morning, or when I got home, I should say. Let's see. What else is purple? Soundtrack sticker's purple. Oh, the purple dome. Is it domed? Is that what you're asking? Purple domed? Hmm. Yeah, it's like yeah, it's my something purple. Yeah. uh, let's see. Is it on the right hand side on the shelf here? Go to the overhead shot. I think it's over the left shoulder. Okay, let's go all the cameras. Oh, I know what you're talking about now. That's a kitty litter box. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, that over there is my automatic kitty litter. I've got 3 cats. I've got 2 twins and then 1 boy. The boy we kind of fostered at that Kiku. He was originally a rescue foster and a foster cat, and then we fully adopted him. And the 2 twins we adopted together. So something that we do is when it comes to litter boxes, we kind of have like pee pads underneath it, so that way it doesn't affect it. And then we put trash bags underneath it, and we lift them up because sometimes, these are somewhat cheap products and so forth. They're like the kitty litter scoop box things. And so we try to elevate them up so that way they don't stain the carpets. And then it won't get everywhere when it comes to kitty litter. So yeah, that's probably what you were looking at. We haven't done this full shot yet. Yeah. So yeah, this is the state of the Icey Railway. I haven't made much progress on it. It's slow. But it's functional, and I wanted functional first over anything else. And then, like I said, the next big thing is to showcase that you too, in a circle layout, can do operations on. That you can take any circle, make it operational, and still have fun with it. Have puzzles, have rules, role play, and all that stuff. So that's kind of the next step, because I had the operations bug, and then now that I'm creating these car carts and waybills, car cards. I keep doing that. Car cards. I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. Yep. And then I got one dog. So yeah, 3 cats, 1 dog. They're our fur children. And that's kind of why too I've got these blankets up here. To give them a spot to kind of chill. Hi, BCA Parts. Again, I'll get in touch with you. We'll get your prize out, and congratulations. So, I will get that to you right after the stream. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, it's, let's see. Tomorrow's going to be a busy, busy day. Alright, guys, let's get you guys back on the train. I think we'll call it our final lap. We'll do one more lap. We'll park it. And then we will slowly close down this episode. But again, thank you guys so much for all the support. Again, we had a record night for viewers on the channel for our live stream. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Enjoying the world's greatest hobby. Oh, so we did our very first giveaway on the channel. So Bernard from Mini Prince worked out a deal because I recorded his figure clinic at the Texas Train Show. Instead of him giving me anything that I wanted from the store, I wanted gift cards to give to you guys for as an appreciation and thank you. So we got some gift cards from Mini Prince. So he won a gift card to Mini Prince. And again, kind of just to reiterate, my giveaways are going to be completely random. You may see a giveaway on a short. You may see a giveaway on a video. I will not announce when there's giveaways or stuff like that because it's not about that. It's about me thanking you for being here as an average viewer, as someone who just watches my content naturally. So that's how I tend to do things going forward. I don't tend to take sponsorships because I am a very opinionated as a customer, so it creates a conflict of interest if I do it that way. But I do like the idea of getting things like that. Yes, Happy Valley, I did get scanned. That's actually, hang on. Now that we're down this rabbit hole. Let's go to community. I wore a costume. Because when I found this mask, it's like, yep, this is exactly what I wanted to do. I just got to find... Aha. There it is. Let's do... So this was kind of my closure statement on the community tab. So yes, I did get scanned, and of course now it's not going to work. Awesome. Thank you, computer. Hang on. Refresh. So this is a teaser of the figurine. So this was part of it. So yes, I did get scanned. I just got an update from Bernard a couple days ago saying that it's in kind of final production. I'll get to see a preview of the figurine when it's done, and then it'll be put out on the website. So I'm planning on having two scans. This scan was obviously for the fantasy element of the hobby with the dragon, and then whenever I see him again, probably at Amherst or Timonium, whenever I'm able to meet with Bernard again to get scanned, I'll have the human side. I'll have I bought a little dragon that goes on your shoulder, and that'll be my second scan. I think I'll be good to have the dragon side and then the human side. So soon, I'm very, very excited for that. Very, very soon. So yeah, did definitely, and that was really the whole reason why I went to the NMRA train show. I wasn't originally planning on going, but as soon as Bernard said that he was going to be there, it's like going. That was the whole reason why I went. I wanted to meet Bernard. I wanted to get scanned, and man, we got so much out of it. We got 5 episodes of the train show. Got to meet with Bernard. Got to meet Ray from Around the Layout podcast. Got to meet with Michelle from the Colorado Model Railroad Museum. Got to meet George from Soundtracks. Got to meet the guys over at Class 1 Model Hobby. I mean, you guys saw in the video all the people that we met. For the most part, I didn't get Michelle on camera, which I'm kicking myself in the butt. Same with Ray. But, yeah. And then I know Grandpa Rails went, but he went on Sunday. My wife and I were coming home on that Sunday, so I didn't get a chance to meet him. But, yeah. Okay, let's go to all the cameras. Let's go to showcasing. And then we'll put this to bed. Yep, I am right behind you there, Mystic. I'm going to go ahead and bring this engine around. Tell the engineer to shut her down. And I think we're going to go ahead and call it a stream. And thank you so much there, Mystic. Have a good one. All right. Put my... having all sorts of issues here. Nope, stop. I didn't tell you to go. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for coming out today. Hang on. Let me shut this train down. I don't want to talk over this. All right, there we go. All right. So thank you guys so much from the Icey Railway. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, a whole bunch of records broken today. Most amount of people we've had on a live stream so far. We had over 1 million views on the channel. That was broke right before the stream started. Again, we stream every Friday starting at 8 p.m. Central Time, with the exception of the second Friday of the month. That is the Samurai General meeting, and I'm unable to stream there. So that's usually the only time that I can stream, and then some special occasions. But yeah, typically Friday night is my time slot. It's really the only time that I can really stream. So you guys can find me here, and you know, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, make comments, all that good stuff. But wing hugs to you guys, and have a great night.